Hi, welcome to Knits Up. I'm Mindy, your hostess, otherwise known as Knitter CNY. You can find me on Ravelry as Knitter CNY. There is a Ravelry Knits Up podcast group, and there is also a Facebook page, and there's a YouTube channel, and sometimes it gets into iTunes. We'll have to see how long this video is. But please use the group to comment on anything. The giveaway that we talked about the podcast before last, I had picked somebody. They didn't respond right away, so I actually repicked, sent the yarn out to that person, and then the original person got back to me earlier this week. So what I'm actually doing is pulling some yarn out of my stash and sending it to the original winner. So we had two winners basically, but I'm good with that. So when I get to the post office Saturday, I'll send out that second package. What am I working on? What's the theme for the year? What's going on? Well, I'm doing an over-the-shoulder video, mostly because I just want to show you the projects up close. And then we'll do another video later on at some other point when I'm able to sit down in good sunlight. It's evening now. And I just wanted to get a video out there just because it's been a while, and I promised myself that this year I would do a video at least once a month. So I'm trying to do that. The first thing that's out here is my All for One Comfort blanket by Bernat. The pattern is a free pattern at yarnspirations.com. You can find it pretty easily, and I'm using a size H hook, and the yarn that I'm using is some stash yarn that I got last year. It's Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Snow Cone Stand. This is what it looks like. Orange, and yes, that is lime green. Those colors are very, very accurate right there. And I've got two of those balls. It was originally on sale for, it was originally about $7. It was on sale for $1.74. So I got two of them. I got a bunch of sugar wheels that way. I have two more in a different color and three more in another color. So you'll be seeing this sugar wheel because I like the idea of doing the blankets pretty easily. The nursing home uses them. My dad's in a nursing home. He's been there for 5 years. And I've made some blankets and taken them down there, and they put them out in the living room because the rectangle, if you use two cakes, I've used Karen cakes before, comes out to be the right size for a wheelchair, or you can almost use it like a shawl for a lady to put it kind of over their shoulders. So that's one thing I'm working on. That's 100% acrylic. The sugar wheel's a little rougher than the Karen cakes, which are an 80-20 mixture of acrylic and wool. And then the other thing that I'm working on that I've pulled out are all my works in progress whips for socks. So I finished a whole sock that I can't even get in the frame. But it is out of 6-ply Regia yarn in the digital print. This is stash that I think I got from Village Yarn Shop. Village Yarn and Fibers in Rochester. They're known as the Dizzy Sheep sometimes. They used to do like daily specials. I don't know that they're doing those anymore. But you can see it kind of looks like blips of digital color. This is the second one that I'm working on. I'm using, I believe it's, don't quote me here. I think, well, do quote me, because I can get out a yarn gauge and tell you what I'm using. It is a 3mm needle. This is my set from China. And then I think when I got down to the foot, what I did was, if you look, you probably can't tell, but the stitches on the foot are a little tighter. I think I went down to a 2 point 7.5, which would be a US size 2. Now, there is no equivalent US size for a 3mm, but it's a Chinese size 11. And these are actually needles from China. I bought a cheap set of needles. I couldn't even tell you what brand they are. Whatever they are, they're from Wish, but you can probably get some on Amazon too. They're kind of like the chow goos. Stainless steel, there's a little bend, and then there's the cord is very much like that kind of cord that's a wrapped steel plastic coated. It's working okay so far. I'm not that concerned about it because they worked out to be less than $1 a piece. So you might as well use those. The other pair, now there's 6 pairs, keep in mind. I got another one done. Another first sock. This is Patton's Croix Millens. The color's Mexicali Stripes. And that's what it looks like. They're all heel flap, pretty much. These are Millens that I got a few years ago in Canada. I believe I bought them at Cambridge Fibers. So this is kind of what the Millen looks like. It was 150 milligrams. 150 milligrams, I believe. So that'll, 150 grams. I'm so used to the lab stuff being in milligrams that, but anyways, it's 150 grams. I think I paid $6 for it at the time. That was more than a few years ago. Next, the other pair that I've been working on, and it's a first one. This is Lion Brand Penelope. Penelope is a kind of a weird yarn, different. It is a teeny tiny sock blank that's in a tube. It's a teeny tiny sock blank in a tube. So as I'm going to pull some off here. So as you pull off, you can kind of see what that's doing. Let's do it against the white. Tube, 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 tube. With sound effects even. Now, it's not difficult to knit with kinky yarn at all. It works up fine. This color, I think, is Homer, if I remember correctly. And I'm using a Haya Sharp. I think it's 2.25 millimeters, but let's double check. Well, it's 2.75. Glory, hallelujah. Sorry. Not a 2.25. Sorry, it's a 2.5. So that's a US size 1.5. 2.5. I think I bought the needle gauge over on Wish as well, but you can get these on Amazon too. It comes with the Chinese numbers. That's the one that's the column that starts with 14. Then it's the US sizes and then the millimeter sizes. So it's very helpful if you have a Chinese set to know what they go with, because not all of them correspond with each other. And then, so that was pair number 3. Sorry, I'm knocking the thing. Pair number 4. When I say pair, eventually it'll be a pair. This is Socks That Rock. I believe it's heavyweight or medium weight. I don't know. Somebody gifted this to me a long time ago. And it is, I believe, the farmhouse colorway. Those colors are pretty accurate. This is how it's flashing. I'm going to move that out of the shot so it refocuses on that. You see how that's flashing. That's when the color pools like this. And it looks like lightning. So it's called flashing, is my theory. And then I'm using Prim ergonomic needles. I don't know if you've ever used these before. They have a little tiny bulb at the end, and then they're triangular, sort of. They're triangularly shaped in the middle, and they bend. They're a bendy needle. So they're good if you have issues of dexterity, where you need a needle that moves. This is, see, you push the hole until you get there. I think it's 2.5. It's sort of in between, because it's weird because it's a rectangular needle. Might be a 275. Yeah, I think it's a 275. It's 2.75 US size 2. And they come in sets of 5. I highly recommend them. They're great. Let's see what else we got. We have a very interesting sock. This is Deep Stash. This is Rhinebeck Stash from, I believe, 2011. This does not look like much. This looks, you sort of see some faint stripes in there. But what this is a skein of cream that came from Pollywogs, which is in Wayland, New York. They do mail order, but they also show up at a bunch of the shows. They have really good seconds for brown sheep yarn. I would highly recommend them for that. And then this is Into the World, and it's got a really cool name, like Pakachu or something like that. I can't remember what it is. It's got a little bit of, it's wool and bamboo basically, but you can look at my projects page and find that. I think I call them the Rhinebeck socks or something like that, but you can see those colors show up. This was just so light and smooth that it was like, for me, it was like knitting with a sewing thread. But I decided I was going to use this with it, and that sort of tempers it down, but it also makes it big enough that I can knit with it quite easily. I'm using some old style collage square needles that I bought at Tuesday Morning. I don't know if this is going to focus or not. There we go. It's a US size 1.5, 2.5 millimeter. They're 40 inches. These were when they were made in the US. They switched their styles, and I believe they're made in a different place now. But these were on closeout at Tuesday Morning a year ago. And this whole needle actually spins. It's different getting used to the square needles, but the stitches show up really nicely on them. They're very, very nice. I'm sorry the camera's shaking. You kind of get that idea. And then the last pair of socks I am working on. Where are you, last pair of socks? You are hiding. Those I'm doing also cuff down. Not very exciting. There's only a little bit on them. What I'm using for those is a Knitter's Pride US size 1, 2.25 millimeter needles, double pointed. These are the Zings that are aluminum, I believe they're made out of. They might be stainless steel tips. Don't quote me on it. The yarn is Peyton's Croy Sock Stripes. The color is Rainbow Stripes. So those are 6 pairs of socks, guys. 6 pairs. So I decided to pull them out because I need socks. It's cold here and it's snowing. It's always snowing in Syracuse. Kind of like it's always sunny in Philadelphia. However, it's always snowing in Syracuse. So, as if that wasn't enough, I needed a hat. So, I got some blue yarn. This is a bluey, tealy kind of a color. I think I'm using a US size 8. which I think is a 6.0 millimeter. And this is the yarn. It's really nice. It's upside down. This is Lion Brand Ferris wheel. There's the stats. There's the color, full moon. I started this during an evening with a full moon. My plan is, this is blue yarn. Lion Brand, specifically the young lady, and I can't remember her name. She's one of the Blumenthal family that owns Lion Brand, and Shira, I'm going to pronounce her name properly. I watch her all the time. I should know how to say her name. But she started a couple of years ago Hat Not Hate, which is they make blue hats. She collects them. They're distributed to schools. It's for anti-bullying. It's supposed to be a solidarity type of thing of to remind kids that they're not going to be bullied. They just launched a new website. I think it's hatnothate.org that gives all of the details about it. You can listen to her talk about it. She's very, very eloquent, very passionate about it. And I thought maybe I'd knit a hat or two and send it in. It does not have to be Lion Brand yarn. It can be other yarn if you have other yarn in your stash. I just happened to buy this at Walmart because I think it was on sale for about $3 or something like that. Maybe $3.47, something like that. So it was very reasonable. It's really nice yarn. It's acrylic. It's soft. It's knitting up really well. I like it a lot. I probably wouldn't make a whole outfit out of it, or a whole sweater, but it would be good for that too. So I really like that. And then there's a couple of stash acquisitions. And pardon me while I lean over to pull up what I've got. Okay, so the first thing is Joann's had this on clearance for $2.97. I had a Joann's gift card, so I bought it. And pardon, let me remove the cat hair from it. I have a cat. I am so lucky. She's really a good cat. This yarn, this side's better, is Red Heart Roll With It Tweed. Like I said, it was on clearance, so it is about 300 yards. It's a worsted weight. I might make one of those one ball shawls that Marley Bird put up during the 24 days of quickies. There's a really cute pattern that's crocheted that's really cute. The other thing that I bought, and pardon the tape because the label actually ripped when I got it home. So it's Woolies Thick and Quick. This is the color City Lights. This was also on the Joann's gift card. But look at all the blips of color. It's sort of a bluey black yarn. And then there's all these blips of color in it. But they stripe, I think. So I'm going to make a hat with that because it's, I like making a winter hat with that. I was thinking for one of the kids in college, it would be good. And I've got a pom-pom that can go on it. This you can use size 13 needles on. Sometimes I use 11s. And I think that's about all that's been going on. I made a bunch of hats at Christmas time with the double brim hat pattern by the Ginger Hooker, which is a free pattern. They're very reminiscent of the double brim hats that you're seeing a lot on Etsy now, only it's a free pattern. I couldn't pass it up, so I'm using that. It works great. I do it longer. I make the body of it longer than she does, and I make the ear flap double brim part a little longer as well. So that's all I've got, folks. Go check out the podcast group on Ravelry, and please, I hope you are knitting and crocheting to get you through this winter, or if you're in Australia, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Thank you.